Good morning, peoples of the internet. I am host Eric, and I am the host of Talking to Famous People. And I'm here today to Procrasti-stream. What am I procrasti-streaming to avoid? Answering my emails. Oh, wow. I know. I've heard the good news so many times now. You are chock full of the good news, kitty. Anyway. My cat is wonderful. Why am I up so early, you might ask? Well, my dad is absolutely obsessed with identity theft at this point. He's just obsessed with it. He's constantly checking all of his shit to see if there's anything untoward going on. This morning, like 4:45 a.m., he was up for some reason, calling the bank. He had a printout from the ATM. Well, when typing fictional characters, you want to type the author's intended creation or the character as it appears. I think the character as it appears, but I mean, until I got with Rachel, I just basically refused to type fictional characters because I just thought that's just silly and pointless. But Rachel likes it, so I like it now too. It's fine. If Rachel likes it, it's fine. I'm happy to do it, you know. But yeah, it's kind of inherently pointless, I think. I mean, it's not pointless because there are some characters who are good examples of given types, and Rachel's really interested in seeing examples of ENTP INFJ couples because she's part of one, you know. And as a girl, you know how girls are about romantic stuff and everything. You know, they're more inherently more romantic than men, I guess. But last night actually we watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which has an ENTP INFJ relationship in it. Ferris Bueller is obviously an ENTP, and his girlfriend's an INFJ in that movie. So his girlfriend doesn't have a lot of lines, but that's consistent with INFJ. And when she does have a line, she makes it count. That's also consistent with INFJ. I'm gonna pull my first bong rip of the day now. I would normally not be up, but as I indicated, 4:30 a.m. I can hear my dad trying to talk to the bank. Doesn't have his hearing aids in yet, so he said, hold on, let me get my hearing aids," after he calls the bank, of course. And I'm sitting on the toilet in my room listening to this because it's like it's the quiet of the morning, and he's talking in his booming "I'm deaf" voice. Like, being deaf seems to make him think that they can't hear him either. It doesn't work like that, Dad. They can hear you just fine. You just can't hear them. So anyway, I was on the phone with the bank trying to figure out what this was. It showed his pending transactions of like $2,200 or something. He's like, "What the hell is this?" And it turns out it was a transfer he made to Delilah partially and for her school, and then a Medicare payment and something else. It was nothing. It was just stuff he actually done, but because it didn't detail them out like that, he didn't remember exactly what it was. So, And then, of course, after the conversation's over, he's like, sorry. I'm like, it's fine, Dad. I was up anyway. That's a good smoking weed right there. Really is. It's called lemon mints. Good deal. Good weed. 40 and 8th out the door, which is, not exactly cheap, but well, the other one we got at the store is this. This is Jack Herrera, which is I gotta say this about Jack Herrera. Even if you don't like sativas, and this is Jack Herrera is a straight sativa. Jack's great. Of course I'll kill him. I know very well who he is, actually. I think I've challenged him before to debate and he ignored me. Well, I mean, I know who he is, and he stands no chance of defeating me. What makes you think he's a psychopath, Broccoli Todd? Just because he likes broccoli too much? See, that's a great sativa. It doesn't even taste like vinyl tubing. It just has a little hint of vinyl tubing to it, which is a normal sativa taste. I remember there's this we used to go to, they had this Super Jack. It was even better than this. Well, the answer is the capacity for rights. In other words, only those that can forfeit their rights can have rights. So it doesn't mean we don't have a responsibility to. It's a basic division between negative and positive moral obligations that he's not accounting for. That's the answer. Is animals are not moral agents with rights, whereas humans are. Very straightforward. But why? Disabled people are moral agents as well. If you're saying, well, okay, if humans, if only the capacity for moral agency is that which is responsible for rights, then surely people who have significant cognitive disabilities and can't engage in moral reasoning don't have rights. Well, I agree with that statement. So that's not going to work for him. Does it mean that we should be able to eat disabled people? Well, it means they don't have rights. It doesn't mean we don't have obligations. Obviously, people aren't cannibals and don't want to eat their own species. So whether or not it's justified as, I mean, just because it's not a rights violation doesn't mean it's not justified. Now, the thing is, you might argue that eating animals is not justified, except there's no equivalent reason like cannibalism. Cannibalism is a separate reason to not eat something. You know, a dead body doesn't have any rights. That doesn't mean I want to eat it. Well, should you be able to? Well, yeah, morally it's acceptable. I mean, it's not morally impermissible, but it's that doesn't make it okay. You might say, well, why is that not the case with animals? Well, because they're not the same species. It's not cannibalism. You know, sex is okay, incest isn't. Same thing with eating people who don't have rights. Dead bodies and severely mentally disturbed people or disabled people don't have rights because they lack the ability to consent. You know? So he's just being reductive in all sorts of matters, obviously. He wouldn't stand a chance against me. He probably won't debate me. Whether he says he'll debate anybody or not, he can be pro-incest, but that's because he's not making distinctions. He thinks everything has to be evaluated according to the same metric. You know, it's not the case. Just because it's okay to have sex with people who aren't your relatives doesn't mean it's okay to have sex with people who are your relatives. You know? Doy. I mean, to sum it up, basically, he's failing to distinguish between that which is morally impermissible and impermissible for other reasons. Very simple. There was this actress, this dumb actress lady. I don't remember what her name was, but she was trying to say it's not rocket science, but she said it's not rock science. You mean geology? Who was that lady who said that? Tara Reid. I make Jessica Simpson look like a rock scientist. That's what she said. I make Jessica Simpson look like a rock scientist. The revelation came after the 37-year-old actress appeared on Discovery's Shark After Dark alongside her co-star Ian Ziering. Reed said about confusing the audience and herself by talking about the mating habits of the sea critters. Today I was like, all right, I don't want to sound stupid when I do the show today. So I learned a little education on sharks. So I look up sharks on the internet and I see whale sharks. So I'm like, that must mean that a whale and a shark have sex. And then it made me think, how do a whale and a shark have sex? Amazingly, Reed kept talking. There is a thing called whale sharks. And then I realized whales are mammals and sharks are animals that have nothing to do with each other. So basically, the dolphins have sex with each other, but the sharks don't. So then I thought, how is that such a thing? Unsurprisingly, Reed's comments have gone viral. But it's not the first stupid thing the American Pie actress has ever said. After all, she previously distinguished herself from fellow blonde and sometimes geologist Jessica Simpson by saying, I make Jessica Simpson look like a rock scientist. I never heard this whale shark yet. What? That's hilarious. I gotta read these words again. This is what Tara Reid has to say about whale sharks. So I look up sharks on the internet and I see whale sharks. So I'm like, that must mean that a whale and a shark have sex. And then it made me think, how do a whale and a shark have sex? There's this thing called whale sharks. And then I realized whales are mammals and sharks are animals. So they have nothing to do with each other. So basically, the dolphins have sex with each other, but the sharks don't. So then I thought, how is that even such a thing? What? What a delightful young woman. Oh, Tara Reid. Is she Australian? Tara Reid? I don't know. She didn't talk with an Australian accent in the movie, but she may just be faking an American accent. I don't know. But that is fantastic stuff right there. The whale shark stuff? I never heard that until this morning. All I knew about was I make Jessica Simpson look like a rock scientist. Hilarious. Hilarious. There's a rapper called Tara Reid. That's great. That's a funny name. Good job, Tara Reid, with your name. Even if you're not that good, you'll get more attention than you should get, because of your great name. All right. So, for the benefit of Mr. Kite, I'm going to pull this bong rip tonight. This morning. Interesting flavor. That's the thing. Well, yeah. I like this combination of weeds I'm smoking right now too. I'm smoking this indica called Lemon Mint, which is, this bottle of it is empty, but I got this other bottle of it here that I haven't opened yet. And I'm smoking this Jack Herrera. So the combination of lemon mint and Jack Herrera is nice. They're both good. I'm happy we got these. I feel like we got a pretty good deal, because even though we spent about $120 on 3/8 of weed, but um, because it's better weed, it lasts longer than it otherwise would, and well, that's just what we do. It's just how we roll. Yes, we spend a lot of money on weed, but that's what we spend our money on. So what are you going to do? It's like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, it sounds like a bad thing. I know now why I never really related to the fictional heroes. They are often INFPs or ISFPs. Well, interestingly, in the book that we are listening to now, I would say that Rand, the main character, is probably ISFP. I would say that or he might be an IS. Oh, he's ISFP. I think so. The other main character, Perrin, ISTJ, and the other main male character, Matt, ESTP, and the ladies, Egwene, INFJ, I would say. Maybe ISFJ. No, I'd say INFJ. Nynaeve, she's an ESTJ. Tom Maryland, he's the only intuitive that really, I mean, he's an ENTP. He's the Gleeman. I don't know if any of you guys have read these books besides me. I've read them before. I didn't read all of them, but I got through like book 8, and then I ran out of books. Hey, look, it's King Krishna Sarmapagu. Hi, King Krishna Sarmapagu. How's it going? I highly recommend them. They're very ENFP books. Okay, so I'm quite convinced an ENFP wrote these books. Robert Jordan. He had to have been an ENFP. Which means sometimes he kind of runs shit into the ground a bit. Like, okay. But he's got a shit ton of characters. What is that? Oh, that's not on my screen. That's on the wall. I thought there was like a bug on my screen, but that thing right there, see what I'm pointing at? It's the thing on the wall. Well, we're listening to it on Audible. Is Martin Scorsese an ENTP or an ENFP? I don't know. Angantir, is your place experiencing snow? fall right now. Are you asking Angatir if you got any cocaine? Is that your way of hitting him up for some blow? Ken Christian Sarmapagu? Angatir, is that your way of saying no, you're out of cocaine? Are you guys having a secret conversation? I think so. Nobody actually asks about snow in June. It's June, for God's sakes. It's 5:52 in the AM. And the reason Eric's awake is because Eric's dad is obsessed with identity theft. So the thing is, he had a big identity theft, like a hijack attempt, basically, where they tried to take over everything last year in July. Then a couple weeks ago, or a week ago or something, somebody tried to open up a, what's it called? Chase Pay account. It's like a electronic wallet off of his Chase card. We thwarted that. But since that happened, he's been playing obsessive identity theft prevention, seeing ghosts everywhere, you know? So this morning, before 5 a.m., knock on the door, Eric! Fortunately, I was up peeing at the time. So I just got up and was like, okay, let's help Dad with this thing. I was quite pleasant about it, actually. I'm always proud of myself when I'm pleasant and helpful with my dad and not being like, you know, I don't like it when I get like that. I feel guilty and mad at myself. I try to be, you know, patient and loving with my dad as much as possible. And, you know, he doesn't always require patience either. Sometimes he's good company. Tells interesting stories. As long as you're in the mood to listen, he's good company, you know. And it's funny because I'm ENTP. I'm this talker, right? But like I'm actually third in line in my family of talkers. When Delilah's around, she's doing all the talking. When Delilah's not around, my dad's doing all the talking. It's only when he's not around that I'm doing all the talking. So it's funny. My family has 3 extroverts in it now. My immediate biological family. Doesn't dust get into your clothes kept in that rack? No. It's not that dusty. It's like, where would the dust come from? It's not like it's not like we have clay streets outside, which, I mean, it's just, where's the dust come from? It's inside the house, you know. I mean, dusty. Okay, Krishna Sarmapagu. Oh, I can't put this shirt on. It's all dusty. You, Jason. You can't let a live stream interfere with your toastings. It's a rookie mistake. That's a rookie mistake. You think ISTJ makes a good dad? Probably. ESTJ made a good dad for me. Let's see. Why am I procrastinating? Pedro Castro, you just got here late. I just finished bonging it up. You think your old man was ISTP? Maybe he was. I don't know. Jason's blood dad is ISTJ. He was tough but always caring. I tell you what, though, Pedro Castro, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to transubstantiate this moment for you. Yep. Congratulations. You are the proud recipient of this transubstantiated bong rip. Okay, here we go. Pedro Castro, I transubstantiate this bong rip for you. So that means it's going to go into my lungs, but all the effects of it are going into your head. I'm sure that was a bell ringer. Yeah, that's that Jack. That's that Jack Herrera. Later on, maybe I'll pull you a rip of this lemon mints too. This stuff's good smoking. Smooth smoker is what it is. Call that a smooth smoker. Doesn't make you cough all that much, and doesn't have any. It's very like clean tasting. The lemon mints, slightly lemony tasting. I don't really taste the mint in it, but I do taste the lemon a little bit. Oh, my beauty. My important beauty. Look. Look at my important beauty. Do you see how important she is? She's an important beauty. Do you see how important and beautiful? Oh my God. What a wonderful kitty friend. Yes. Daddy loves you. Yes, he does. Oh, yes. So good. So just and true. So fine and special and important. Daddy loves you with his emotions. Yes, he does. Do you know that I love my cat with my emotions? It's true. I use most of my emotions and my heart to love my cat. Well, my cat's an ISFP. She's a really nice ISFP. She loves me. She loves Rachel too. She loves Rachel so much. That's the cool thing is I had this cat in my last relationship. And my last relationship was with this woman who was very, very much an animal lover. And all the animals loved her too. You know, it was the animals and Kimberly were on the same page across the board. They all loved the shit out of each other. Except for Pee Pee. She didn't ever like Kimberly. She always ran away every time Kimberly came near. She just refused to make friends with Kim because Kim was too pushy on her. ISFJs don't respect the ISFP hood of their animals. They got an ISFP animal, and PP's an ISFP. So, what I love is the fact that, of all the animals that we had over there, the only one that was really mine was this cat. And she didn't like my last girlfriend, but she absolutely adores Rachel. Rachel's got a great bond with Pee-Pee. So, that's the slabs telling me, you're in the right relationship. As an INTP, I relate too much with cats, but they never really bond with you. I'm sorry to hear that, Pedro Castro. You just haven't met the right cat yet. My cats become more loving over time. So when she was young, she was born in my bed with me. Okay. With her mom. Her mom gave birth to this cat and others in the litter on my bed in Temple City. And we got rid of all the kittens except for Pee-Pee. We weren't able to find a home for Pee-Pee. Now her mom didn't manage the move to Laverne and ran off, and I don't know what happened to her. Are dogs better suited for SE users? I don't know. I guess it depends on the kind of dog. There are some very lazy kinds of dogs that don't necessarily want to go out and do a lot of shit, But probably intuitives are half-assed about walking dogs and stuff. It depends on what your relationship with your dog is. My last dog, Lacey, she was a all the time companion with me. Like everywhere I could go that I could take her, I went with her. I always tried to take her along if I could. So she was a good dog, a good friend. She was my hero. I miss Lacey. Delilah does too. We both get emotional when we talk about Lacey. The dog was an ISFJ, I think. We sure did love her. She had a good life, at least. Yeah, I agree. Dogs tend to be a lot more effy. I've had effy cats, though, too. But my current cat, Capio, is definitely not an effy cat. She's straight up FI Dom. It's like she's very selfish. But great, It's like, she likes to have a love party occasionally on her terms. And she's sweet. She tries to bring us prizes like birds she caught and stuff. She brought Rachel a bird yesterday. She brought me a bird before too. It's like, I don't want this bird. I don't want you to catch these birds, please. It hurts my heart. But she doesn't listen to me. She doesn't respect the rights of the birds. That's why she doesn't have any rights. So I could, in theory, eat her. But that would be wicked on my particularist metrics. I don't need my universalist metrics to tell me that's wicked. Your cat's TI polar. My cat's TI eighth slot. What makes you think your cat's TI polar, Lero Pajickle? Why did you lose the Pajickle, by the way? Don't be losing your Pajickle. Don't be losing it now. Everybody loves their Pajickle. Pajickle, Pajickle, and how? What am I procrasti-streaming about? I don't want to check my email. I don't want to respond to emails right now, but I know I should. I love Rachel. She's a nice lady. She's good to me. No, the Fajickle. You can lose your pickle, just don't lose your Fajickle. Lero A used to be Lero Fajickle, but somehow they're not Fajickle anymore. I don't know why not. You can lose your pickle if you want. Have a popsicle if you want. Ride a bicycle with your aunt. Give a little tickle to John Bonham. But no matter what you do, don't lose your Fajickle. Give a little jiggle. Don't lose your pickle. Give me a tickle. Meet with John Rickle. But whatever you do, don't ever lose your Fajickle. Oh, merciful heavens. Well, my cat is inside, outside, has the run of the place, So the thing is, she's also too curious for her own good as she's burning through her 9 lives. She's broken her legs like 4 times since she's been here in Arcadia. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. I do not know. I hear this, and then here she comes again with another broken leg. The one time we had to take her to the vet was something bit her paw. Why is Trump immune to being made fun of? He's not immune to it. He's demonstrative FE and TI polar. Inconsistencies don't bug him. He thinks it's a waste of time to even talk about that. And he's just going to project that he's fine no matter what. Well, you'll always be Lero Fajickle to me. You'll always be Lero Fajickle to me. Sounds like a good subject for a country song, huh? Others may call you Lero A, still others might say Lero B. But no matter they say, because you're always Lero Fajickle to me. ENFPs are not taken seriously when they're angry. You guys, I'm cereal. Is that why? How stubbornly wrong they can be? ENFP, most stubbornly wrong. And most stubbornly wrong award. The nominees are INTJ, stubbornly wrong about the lizard people. INFJ, also stubbornly wrong about the lizard people. Hi, lawnmower. ENFP, stubbornly wrong about their communist nonsense. And ESTJ, stubbornly wrong that how they did it before is always the right way. And the winner is... Who's the winner of the stubbornly wrong contest? I think it's INTJ, actually. I think ENFP maybe takes second place in the stubbornly wrong contest. Any thoughts on that, everybody? Am I throwing INTJs under the bus here? Do INTJs win the prize for most stubbornly wrong type? Greetings. You know what, lawnmower? I'm not satisfied with greetings anymore. I want salutations. I didn't know INTJs were into conspiracy theories. Yes, INTJs are into conspiracy theories. Well, they just think they know whatever it is they think they know. You know, holistically and via some utilitarian framework, they know things. Thank you. Much better, lawnmower. I feel so pleased in general by my relationship. Makes me very happy. Rachel's a wonderful lady. I glove her with my hearts and my emotional mittens. You know I must, because here I am talking about her and she's not right in front of me. How crazy is that? But you know, when you're a very, 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 very special lady, then yeah, Pedro Castro's got a good point. Making fun of Trump is hard on the timing. You make fun of one thing, he's already made an even stupider comment. Since talking about relationships, how does one develop FE? I don't think one really develops FE unless it's in year 3 or 4, in which case it'll develop naturally over time. I think the basic maturation process for every type is to gradually get better at their 4th slot over time and to almost willfully improve in their 3rd slot. That is to say, to attain payoff in the 3rd slot increasingly well, while integrating more and more 4th slot is the process of maturity for everybody, basically. You have limited ability to improve your 6th slot, limited ability to improve your 8th, limited ability to improve your 5th. It'll sort of improve naturally as well, but your 3rd and 4th is where growth happens. So older INTJs have good FI and presumably increasingly good SE. Holla back, Alan. Holla back. I've got increasingly good FE and SI because as I've aged, those are the things where I've developed. My SIs, I almost never make the sort of critical SI mistakes I used to make, like embark on a big journey without eating first or something stupid like that, you know. I do a much better job of preparing myself for SI stuff. Well, Can Christian Summer Pagoo, that will continue happening in bursts as you continue to live, because that's sort of how a fourth slot happens. It happens in bursts, and then it recedes. How do you know you develop SI? Well, simply because I don't make the same kind of mistakes I used to make. I would frequently end up places where it's cold. I have no jacket. I didn't bring one. I didn't think to. You know, I'm halfway along a hike when I realize I didn't eat any breakfast. I don't have any food with me. That kind of shit. I don't make those kind of mistakes anymore. I tend to make the choice more that's like, no, Eric, just go to bed tonight. Take a couple of Tylenol PMs. Go to bed. Even though you're not feeling tired right now, it's better to try to stay on a normal schedule to some extent. Because, you know, that's my advice is my sleeping schedule would shift kind of like round the clock, like later. How do I rate Ted Cruz's debating ability? I mean, I would say not highly. Look, the thing is, when you're talking about third and fourth slot, though, you have to account for the fact that there's a lot of growth that happens between whatever age you are and 50. Okay. INTPs and ENTPs are both likely to make the same kind of SI mistakes and similar kind of FE mistakes, although the ENTP is a lot more likely to make FE mistakes early on because they're extroverted. But through their 20s into their 30s, you know, and the nice thing about NTPs, in my opinion, and probably NFJs as well, probably all your meta-analyst types, is I think meta-analyst types benefit most from understanding cognitive functions. In other words, metacognition is maximally converted into actual growth in people who are the most analytical. So learning about all this stuff will help people like Karen Krishna Sarmapragu, who's young, grow a lot faster than she would have had she been born in 1971, because she wouldn't have learned about cognitive functions until she was, 40 years old. Literally, sometimes I realize I haven't drinking anything the whole day. It's not good for your kidneys. Lyrophagical. Not good for your kidneys. All right. Well, that's how it makes you really prone to creature comforts and quietude. I mean, that's what it means to be attending to your introverted sensing, at least in the real-time experience of it, is, chilling. Like, okay, here's a good example of SI growth for me, too. This is SI-FE growth both. Yesterday, it was around dinner time. I was hungry. I didn't really want to cook, but I wanted to. We had these leftover barbecue, and we had like a bunch of other stuff. Well, anyway, what I decided to do, instead of just kind of like scooping some meat into my mouth and calling it dinner, I put the leftover barbecue on a platter thing along with some pickles, some cheese, some toast, some strawberry jam, And I don't know, there was something else too. But the point is, I put together a little spread, and then Rachel and I sat here and enjoyed whatever's we were watching or listening to while we ate our food, and that was a lot more SI satisfying than if I had just been like, I'm just gonna scoop some meat into my mouth. You deal with your food, and I'll deal with mine. It was nice to sit down and have a yeah, and Gantier, I sometimes have that relationship with food as well. It's like, I'm hungry. Can't somebody just come put food in my mouth? I think growth is more important for the intuitives. I mean, possibly. It's like, I would say, I've gotten to see my dad grow over the course of his life. And well, one more interestingly about the SI thing, I was with an SI Dom, and it's true that I was receptive to SI stuff, but it's also true that she wasn't very regular about providing it. Actually, she was. She'd bring me lunch and stuff. She'd make sure I ate. But it also comes with a lot of SI expectations that are not things that I like. So there's a fundamental resistance to uncertainty and deviance from what's regular that occurs with ISFJ. It's much easier being with an INFJ. Much, much easier. Rachel and I, we eat at weird times. The nice thing is Rachel and my biorhythms are like lock sync. We get hungry at the same time, and what sort of expectations? Well, like in the case of Kimberly, she like this is an example of SI getting in the way. So let's say I started a conversation about porcupines. And last time I started a conversation about porcupines, no, it's not that simple, Ken Krishna Sarma Pagoo. It really isn't. Our rhythms really are the same because I note when they are not. It's like occasionally they're not. You got to remember Ken Krishna Sarma Pagoo, and all INFJs need to remember this. I understand you fuckers. Okay. I'm just as intuitive as you are, and I know exactly what's going on. It's that simple. I'm probably the only one who does, but I do. I know you go through the world frustrated by the fact that other people are not really very aware of much of what's going on. Much of what you're doing by not doing flies under or over the radar of people, but it doesn't with me. it's like if there's an aspirational type, you might say that that's this relationship, INFJ, ENTP. Both types aspire to be the other one. It makes for a good relationship when you're on the same page with your partner. It's great. It's like the juiciest juice, the juice factory. Sometimes when TI DOMs lock into some FI belief that would go out of their way to do anything to justify the TI, and when confronted, they become very sad and rant. I'm very sad and ranting. I'm sadly ranting right now. Yeah, well, that's where cognitive functions in general help a lot, Alan. It's I'm looking to note my areas of deficit and to benefit. Yeah, I know you do. I'm looking to note the areas where I naturally have tendencies to not be attentive, like ignoring an eye. I try to do a better job of listening faster to Rachel when she gives me some NI thing. I try not to do my normal reflective thing, which is like, well, no, we just need to NE this some more, I try to be aware of that shit. But if you're not consciously aware of that stuff as an ENTP and looking for it, you're not going to be fair. Probably won't be very fair. Wouldn't no one forcing intuitive stuff upon senses indicate them needing extra development? Then, say for take an underdeveloped ESP and ENTP, for example, the chances of the former causing harm without emphasis on development should be higher. Possibly. That's according to the idea. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe for complicated reasons. Well, regardless, I like the line of thought. Sometimes NE frustrates me because it's too scattered. Once in a while, something really pops, and I'm really satisfied. Right. Well, that's when NE and NI get together, right? It's like, you know, right. That's true. I can think of multiple examples of times when I've been doing something moronic and Rachel gives me some basic NI thing that goes, oh, yeah, right. It's like, maybe we shouldn't fish in this spot, Eric, where we keep losing keep getting in trouble with the branches and stuff. Why don't we go over there where there are no branches? Okay. You're right. NT women's. T women are quite rare. Yeah, they are. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm tired. I'm gonna try to go back to sleep for a while. Oh my goodness, though. Oh, will you look at this now? Will you just look at that beauty? Oh my goodness. That is a beauty beaut. Beauty von beauty von beauty beaut. That's a juicy kitty. You really want to pet that kitty, don't you? I know I do, but I'm not going to bother her. I'm going to respect her space. As an ISFP, she's kind of big on that stuff. So I'm going to respect her space. I'm going to let her just sleep there adorably, despite the fact that she's desperate to be petted. She's going to resist the urge to pet her. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up now. Thanks for being here, everybody. I'm going to try to go back to bed and get some morning sleep here. Angantyr, I don't want any more of that defeatist talk, okay? No more of that shit. Chicks don't like to hear you say that. That's not a good way to get chicks. Go, I'm too autistic to get a girlfriend. It's not a good way to get chicks. That's a basic thing there. I'm going to not end for a second because I'd already pushed in stream, but I didn't confirm it because Angantyr had to say something like that. You're not autistic at all, Angantyr. Now just chill out and be like this. You just got to be like this. Hey, everybody likes that, okay? Chicks love that shit. You just got to be like, hey, girl, look at me move my head back and forth. That's the way to get chicks. Thanks for being here. Talk to you later.